High Plains Technology Center, turning education and training into workplace success.
Oh, back to school, to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
High Plains Technology Center, education at the speed of business. School is now in session.
Good morning. This is Katie Shirley. I'm the Marketing Director for High Plains Technology Center. And this morning I have with me Leanne Meyer and Tristan Haw. Good morning, guys.
Mm-hmm. Good morning. It's great to be here.
I'm glad to have you all here. So I'll start out with Leanne. Leanne, you are the instructor for the Multimedia program at High Plains. So tell us a little bit about maybe how long you've been at High Plains now, and tell us about the program and what kind of skills the students learn.
Okay, so this is my third year here at High Plains, and it's been a fantastic 3 years. It seems like it's really
flown by.
Absolutely.
You've done a lot in 3 years.
It seems like it anyway. Yeah. This year has flown by even more than any of the others. And we always seem to do more every year.
Yes, for sure.
So I guess a little bit about my program. We're, I think, more than multimedia. I like to say that we do a lot of communications, leadership, and just innovative technologies. So anything that you might communicate with, that's what my students are using and learning.
Okay. So what are some of the real projects that students have worked on throughout this year?
There are so many things that we do each year because that's really, I think, what our technology centers are the best at is that we really do hands-on. Everything we do is hands-on. So all of the projects, as we're learning, we are doing hands-on projects that are going to be real-world experiences for them. So some of the things that we've done this year, we're working on the podcast with Mr. Burnett, and that's been a really fun
Yes, if you guys have missed that, by the way, just you need to go follow us on social media if you have social media. So we're pretty much on every platform you can find, and you're going to see a lot of footage and productions from the multimedia students, a lot of photography, and so you'll get a good idea what these projects Leanne's talking about. But so anyways, the podcast is also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, so I highly recommend watching this latest one too, as they talk about the upcoming state question that is potentially going to be addressed. So that way you can kind of get educated on how public schools are funded and the huge impact negatively that state question would have if passed. So anyways, on the podcast, I'd say go find it. And you guys also have produced some short clips, so I'll be sharing those as well. So
yeah, we like to highlight all of the different program areas, and so we do that in a lot of different ways. We might make short videos, we might do that through photography, but our students just do a lot of different things. Like, for example, this morning, one of my students went out early this morning, flew the drone and got some really spectacular shots of downtown Woodward to use in kind of a feel-good promo that we're working on for the community of Woodward. And of course, we are working on a flyer to promote the plant sale that's coming up that our students put on. That's always a huge hit with everyone. We also this year we did something a little bit different that we've never done before. In fact, Tristan was one of the students that did this. We had someone call and asked if we would do some photographs of some of their beef because they are some producers and wanted to market their beef products. So they had an opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I love that community involvement and even just school-wide. Like I feel like you guys are like a whole bunch of my, just on my team of marketing and promoting the school. And like you said, the communication aspect of these students going into the other programs and having to learn to communicate with that instructor and those students and then interview them on film is pretty cool. So I think that definitely helps them get out of their shell of maybe that not being their natural disposition to want to speak to others. So.
Absolutely. I think that if you go out and you ask really any employer, one of the things that they're most concerned about, maybe about some of the recent graduates or some of the students now, I think communication skills and those soft skills. And so we really try to focus on that. And one of the ways that we do that is through these projects and having these students go out and have to do things that they may not be super comfortable with sometimes.
That is so key, because that we had a business roundtable meeting a month or so ago with several business leaders, and one of the top things they said, whenever you're hiring, what are the top things? And most of it was, we can teach them the skill. We need them to communicate, and we need them to show up, and have those soft skills. So I love that we're constantly in every program, no matter which program it is, working on that.
100%. And I just love to see from the beginning of the school year to the end of the school year,
the development, yes.
How much they've grown into just their confidence in themselves, and how much better of a communicator they are, and just their leadership skills.
Yes.
There's so many things that they get better at.
Definitely. So let's talk about the students working, like we mentioned, the podcast, marketing content. So what are, Tristan, maybe one of your couple top favorite projects you've worked on?
I've done quite a bit of projects. I've done a lot of photography work for the Woodward Boomers, the local high school. I think one of my favorite would be Woodward Still. I made a commercial for Woodward Still.
Yes.
And as she was saying, the meat project, I really like to explore the different types of photography.
Yeah.
And those meat photos were something that I've never done before. And so exploring all the different opportunities that I've had, it's very special. And I don't think I would have had any of those opportunities without both High Plains and Mrs. Meyer.
Yeah, definitely a unique realm of photography you've done to add to your portfolio. So that's some really good experience. Mrs. Meyer, tell us about some of the tools and technology that your students get to use while they're in the program.
You know, we're really fortunate that our board and our leadership, they really like to make sure that all of our program areas have everything that we need to teach things that are right here on the cutting edge. So we have some of the newer DJI drones. That's going to allow us to have some excellent footage. We have smaller drones that we can fly inside to get some really great footage, but also some that we can fly outside. Our Canon cameras, or our cameras and our lenses and our lighting setup is excellent. I think that that you're not going to find just anywhere, which also is going to be our videography equipment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we just got a whole new classroom set of Macs for the classroom. We use all of our Adobe products, and that really allows our students to go out into industry, and they're ready to go. That's kind of the industry standard, so they're ready. They're ready to step right into that.
That is pretty awesome, and those are, definitely add up expense-wise to have the best of the best. So the students, I feel like, are pretty fortunate. And when you talk about drone footage, some of the video footage that Thomas has done with our new construction on our new shop, I love the one footage where he can zoom all the way down into the worker, like on the workers as they're working, and then zoom back out. It's so cool. So, and especially his footage of the fire, the area and landscape that the fire touched was pretty impactful for everyone to see. I know that got shared a lot.
Yeah, he's really developed his skills in that area. And, that's one of those things that he was able to take the certification test through the FAA, so he's able to fly that commercially. And whenever he leaves High Plains, he's going to be able to take that with him and be able to do that commercially. He can work, in real estate. He can work really almost in any industry and be able to charge to do that.
That's awesome. So as we talked about, like what Thomas could do pursuing a career after this, what are some of the other careers some of your students have pursued after multimedia, or are options that they might go into?
So really, almost any industry is going to have someone that does what we do.
Right.
Nonprofits are hiring people that is looking for students with this skill set.
Yeah.
Oil and gas, the wind industry, real estate, education.
Yeah.
Almost any industry you can even think of, dream of, there's going to have someone, there will be someone that is, maybe they're making educational videos.
Yeah.
Perhaps they're doing social media production, video production, photography, public relations. And it might even be that they're just needing someone to be responsible for their communications.
Yeah, that's what it's a very competitive world out there now with all of the media that we do have. So if you're not doing that, word of mouth is still key, but there's just such a new trend towards this that you're going to be seen. I mean, if you got to get yourself out there, and even like we were talking about Blue Sage Services out in Beaver County, they have amazing marketing, and they're a construction company. So you wouldn't think that's something they would focus on. But I love, as I was talking to Wyatt, is one of their business development people, and he was just talking about trying to convey to the next generation that this is cool work, like making it look like just sharing a day in the life of their crew. And so I love that even they are really tapping in and investing in the multimedia and marketing their business.
Right. And even if they don't go into a multimedia, maybe a job, you're still going to use these skills in almost anything you go into. Your communication and leadership skills. Yeah. You just can't go wrong with that.
Right. So speaking of, if a student doesn't go directly into a career that has multimedia, what are some of the skills you think that are benefiting them even in other industries, which we kind of talked about that, but maybe a little further on?
Well, obviously the communication skills and just interview skills, whether they're being interviewed or they are interviewing someone, and it's just the ability to talk with anyone regardless of, where they're at in the business, that they're able to communicate effectively.
Right.
Whether it's through writing, communicating through writing, or talking in any way, just being able to communicate.
Yeah, because really, if we think about it, we are a brand ourselves. We have to promote ourselves. We are a walking brand of who we are. So we got to be able to share that, and the best you can share it of your strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
The better, I think the person is well-rounded to succeed. So let's talk about enrollment now is open for next year, and you'll begin interviews soon. So what are some of the ways that students can learn more about your program if they want to enroll?
They can always go to the website. There's and they can find multimedia on there. They can come stop by, see Miss Halderman, or stop by and just see me and really look at the program. But, we're always looking for those students that are self-starters, that are motivated, that are really looking for a challenge, that has some energy. Those are the type of students that are going to thrive, I think, in my area.
So what is it this year, next year you're looking to introduce or expand in your program?
I don't know that we will maybe expand as much as I just want students to really understand that sometimes they have a misconception about what our multimedia program is. Sometimes they think that it's just going to be video gaming or it's just one thing, and we're so much more than that. I think students come out so well-rounded and can do so many things. So whenever they step into a career role, they're able to do anything that their supervisor calls on them to do.
Yeah. So Tristan, tell us just a little bit about your time at High Plains and maybe your favorite memory so far.
So one of my favorite memories is definitely the first day of actually showing up. Whenever I walked in, it felt like such a big achievement. It felt like I was about to achieve something. Yeah. And it felt like a goal. It felt like something that I put myself out there and decided that I wanted to do. And I used to be one of those quiet kids. I didn't want to talk, and I definitely wouldn't be here today. Yeah. But throughout the friends that I've made at High Plains and everyone that has helped me, including the staff and the board, I have been able to put myself out there more, and I've definitely gained that confidence and communication. Right. And one of the other skills is definitely teamwork. I've learned how to help others, and I've learned how to get help from others. And so now I'm able to look for help. And so one of my favorite memories is definitely the first day. Yeah. The other is definitely becoming a state officer for the CTSO. Yeah. High Plains allows and helps you with getting into a CTSO, and I think that is very special because it is a lot of money, but it is very worth it. Yeah. Well, we love seeing the success of you all. And just like you said, that first day, thinking about students interviewing to get into the program, it is something special to come to High Plains, and we're going to do our best to help you do your best. And so I love when students receive that help
and they thrive and run with it. So what would you say to someone considering enrolling in either multimedia in general or just on the fence about attending High Plains? What would you tell them?
So I would say just do it. I mean, there's not much else to think about because no matter what program you enroll in, no matter what you do, you can always use it.
Yeah.
Like welding, you can always use welding, or diesel, you can always use diesel. And so with multimedia, that is very special because I'm going into wind tech. And so with the drone stuff, I'm trying to get my Part 107, and so that way I can use that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not multimedia directed, I'm still going to be able to use it. In terms of High Plains in general, it just feels like one giant family.
Yeah.
It's so welcoming, and you shouldn't be scared to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. So listen to Tristan and come join the family. Well, thank you guys. Anything else from you, Leanne?
No, we just love all of our students. It's the greatest place.
Yes.
And I think once they come out there, they are just, they love it as much as all the staff does.
Yeah, we are very blessed. Okay, well, thank you all, and everyone have a great day.